Biden, is this unfair to people who paid their student loans or chose not to take out loans?
Is it fair to people who, in fact, do not own multi-billion-dollar businesses? They see why these guys give them all a tax breaks? Is that fair? What do you think?
What about people who paid their loans, though, struggle to pay their loans, and now others don't have to?
The utter blithering idiot in the White House sinks to a new low, forcing taxpayers now to pay off the student loans of a bunch of woke deadbeat college grads. But alas, the joke's on them. Make sure to stick them to the very end of this video and I'll show you how the latest Democrat scam is already backfiring on the bumbling Biden regime big time, promising to sink them even deeper into total political oblivion. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. It's me, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to help you to think better so I can try to help you feel better in these crazy and insane and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Gang, if you are a business owner, you have got to meet my good friend, Joe Zaglowski, co-founder of ERC Specialists. He's standing up like no one else against the threat of lockdowns, and you're going to absolutely love this. His business, ERC Specialists, is a specialty payroll company exclusively dedicated to understanding and maximizing what's called the CARES Act Employee Retention Credit. That's what ERC stands for. Employee Retention Credit for small businesses affected negatively by shutdowns. So if you're a small business owner looking to get up to $26,000 per employee back from bumbling Biden and his generosity with your tax dollars, click on the link in the description below to see if you qualify today. It is an absolutely amazing opportunity. All right, so let's dive right in here, gang. I'm sure you all know by now that the commander in diapers, bike riding Biden, has, as the legacy media puts it, what are the words they come up with? Canceled, forgiven, relieved, what other nonsensical word you want to throw in there. Biden has effectively transferred upwards of an estimated $300 billion worth of college student loan debt away from students and over to us. The notion that this debt is forgiven or wiped out or expunged in any way, obliterated into an eternal abyss, is of course patently absurd. Debts have to be paid for, particularly monetary debts. And thanks to bumbling Biden, we, the taxpayers, are now the ones responsible for paying this debt to the tune, by the way, of $2,000 per taxpayer. And you ready for this? To add insult to injury, according to the Penn-Wharton budget model, the cost estimate for so-called student debt forgiveness completely wipes out the already totally exaggerated deficit reduction of the reconciliation bill that Biden just signed last week. I mean, gang, you just can't make this shit up. Here's the bumbling Biden White House already doing their best to run away from this utter nonsense.
Again, here's what we have done. Here's
but you're
what
talking
here's
a lot about how much it might cost, it might not cost. Who is paying for this?
what we are saying is the work that this administration has done, the work that the Democrats in Congress has done is actually there, and you see that the 1.7 trillion deficit deduction that you see is going to benefit us in being able to do something for the middle class, to do something for the middle class. This is about doing something for people who make less than $125,000, $1.7 trillion. That's what we've been able to do.
But when you forgive debt, you're not just disappearing debt. So who is paying for this?
And then I'll give you the second part. We lifted the pause, right? We're going to lift the pause at the end of this year, which is going to matter, right? Which is going to offset a lot of what we're doing as well. When you think about the $4 billion that's going to go back into as revenue back into this process of folks paying right their college tuition, that matters as well. So we are doing this in a smart way. We're doing this in a way that's going to be effective. We're doing in this a way that keeps to the president's promise on giving people who need some breathing room, I just laid out for you. No, Peter, I just laid out for you how we're seeing this process and why this
Wealthy
matters.
Americans, the corporations, who
Again,
is
I
paying?
just laid out,
Somebody's gotta pay.
I just laid out because of the work that we have done in the economy, because of the American Rescue Plan, because of the Inflation Reduction Act, and because all of this work that this president has done has brought down our deficit by
She has got to be the single biggest borderline illiterate to have ever stood at that podium, and that's saying something. That was nearly 2 full minutes of total and complete bullshit, and everyone sees it. Well, everyone who hasn't been infested with the virus of wokeness, of course, which is generally college students. And it's not just an issue of flipping the bill, as it were, over to taxpayers. Many are arguing that Biden's executive order is blatantly unconstitutional. And you know who also thought that? How about one Nancy impeachment Pelosi? Take a look.
People think that the President of the United States, is this more on the subject than you ever want to know? Well, you'll let me know. People think that the President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
God, it's so painful to watch that woman try to talk while she's trying to keep her teeth in her mouth. So where is that Nancy Pelosi today? Well, she's obviously too busy to be bothered. Illegal insider trading takes time, after all. Thank God she's for the middle class. Now, here's the great news, okay? Here, look, we've dealt with the bad news, right? And this sucks, no question. But there is some good news. There's some great news, actually. You can be sure that the vast majority of the population opposes this. Yes, I know the woke warriors over at CNN and MSNBC are going to trot out all of this polling that shows overwhelming support for forgiving every student loan debt on the planet. Debt should be canceled, and those indebted should be liberated and free. Yeah, you're going to get your daily diet of that crap, no question. But if we were ever to see these polls as being weaponized, it would be here. Make no mistake. A wide range of polling consistently shows that the vast majority, upwards of 60% of Americans, are very concerned that a student debt scam like this is only going to make inflation worse. And as you could have guessed by that number, that fear is bipartisan. A former Obama economist has explicitly warned that Biden's debt debacle was going to fuel the flames of inflation. And the political blowback goes way beyond concerns over inflation. What we've got to understand, and this is absolutely key, I think that what Biden just did here is he's exacerbating a growing political divide that promises to absolutely crush the Democratic Party. But before I forget, did you know our good friend and amazing patriot Mike Lindell is now carrying patriotic coffee? Gang, I've been drinking literally bags of it, and I can't get enough. You're going to love it, and you're going to love having it delivered right to your front door. Mike's got a ton of great stuff at his new mystore.com. I'll put a link in the description below for you to use, and use code Turley to get 25% off the coffee and anything else that you like at the store. Enjoy. All right, so more and more pundits are recognizing that a massive political realignment is happening right before our very eyes, centered on so-called higher education, right? In other words, we're seeing a radical political divide opening up between college grads who are voting overwhelmingly Democrat and non-college grads who have just recently started voting overwhelmingly Republican. And it's a political divide that's absolutely panicking the Democrats. I'm going to tell you why. And this is, we have to remember, it's so interesting that for decades, non-college grads, those who never went to college or never graduated college, they tended to be working class Democrats. So for example, Iowa, which is one of the higher density of non-college grads, they voted for Mike Dukakis in 1988. They were one of the most reliably blue states in the entire nation. Those days are gone. Iowa's deep red today. They voted twice for President Trump by 10 points. And this is what Democrats are actually freaking out over. Non-college grads are overwhelmingly defecting over to the Republican Party. Check out this headline that came out just the day after Glenn Youngkin crushed Terry McAuliffe in Virginia back in November of last year. And this headline comes ironically from the far leftists over at the Philadelphia Inquirer. So they know the data, they know the statistics, but look at what they're admitting. These women are white with no college degrees, and they are in the driver's seat of American politics. They are in the driver's seat of American politics. It's a report on the exit polling from the Virginia election that found that an astonishing 75% of white women without college degrees voted for the Republican Glenn Youngkin. And not just Youngkin, but Winsome Sears for lieutenant governor and their Republican attorney general. 75% of white women without college degrees. And this article recognizes that that kind of voting bloc is impossible to overcome. That is an unassailable voting bloc. And you know why? Take a guess at the percentage of our population that is non-college grad. It's over 60%. Only 37% of Americans above the age of 25 have a bachelor's degree. Most of them, by the way, paid for it themselves. Research shows that 45% of bachelor degree recipients graduated with no debt at all. You can be sure that what the commander in diapers did the other day is backfiring big time. And in many respects, it's only hastening a political realignment that was already in the making long before this latest Democratic scam. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. And you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on woke leftists getting crushed in school board elections across Florida. It is going to absolutely make your day. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.